After opening their 2024 season last week in Philadelphia, the Chicago Fire will host reigning Supporters Shield winner FC Cincinnati at Soldier Field this Saturday in their home opener. Following up on a positive 2-2 result out on the East Coast, the Men in Red are still looking for their first 3 points of the new season. Despite Cincinnati's poor record in their first 3 MLS seasons, the Fire have only beaten them once at home, and Saturday's game represents a great opportunity to make a statement. The Fire have only beaten Cincinnati in 3 of 14 encounters all time.
Obviously, look, you have only one opportunity at an opening match, an opening game in the season. And I think it's important for us to, coming off that really, a big point on the road against Philly, and to follow that up with a good performance. We've talked about being consistent, and I think there's no better place not to follow that game up with this opening match at home. I think it also gives us an opportunity now for our fans just to see the new players, to see some of the changes.
A strong, cohesive team performance in Philadelphia last week will give Klopas some selection headaches in the midfield, as influential performances from Gaston Jimenez, Fabian Herbers, Marin Haile Selassie, and Brian Gutierrez all merited another start. Newly minted captain Xherdan Shaqiri will also likely get the nod in behind designated player striker Hugo Kuipers, while marquee signing Kellen Acosta still awaits his first start after coming off the bench against Philly. Chase Gasper will likely start at left back, replacing Andrew Gutman, who will be out for about a month. As Tobias Sahlquist works his way to full fitness, Mauricio Pineda will still likely get the nod at center back. Reigning MLS Defender of the Year Matt Miazga will be available for Cincinnati after his suspension for allegedly entering the referee's locker room after a playoff game last season was lifted by the league. Head coach Pat Noonan benched starters Miles Robinson, Yuya Kubo, Sergio Santos, and reigning MVP Lucho Acosta in their game against Cavalier earlier this week in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. In choosing to bench several of their key players in CONCACAF play, they are likely prioritizing this game against the Fire this weekend. A draw against Toronto on their opening day meant that Cincy will be looking for their own first 3 points of the new year. This first game at home also marks the first time the famous red jersey will be used by the Fire since 2019. The return to red kit will debut in front of what is expected to be a crowd in excess of 20,000 fans in the lakefront.
Yeah, I think the red is an important part of the club's history. So for me, for all the guys that have been around the club for a while, we know that. So yeah, we're going to take that into account when we're wearing the red and really try to represent in the right way. And that goes for everyone in the rest of the team, not just the guys that have been around. I think everyone's excited for the red, and we know the history that this club has in that color.
The home opener will naturally be played at Soldier Field this Saturday, March 2nd, with a 7:30 Central Time start. The game will be available through the MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. I have been Alex Calabrese for Men in Red 97.